All right, what does Epstein's client list and our open borders have in common? The simple answer is we're all being groomed by the global elites. That's the answer. There's not going to be any accountability for the guilty. As fun as it is, releasing some of the names on this Epstein's client list or Epstein's list. Listen, they're not all perverts. We'll get into that. But they're too powerful and they're too connected. So we're going to have fun with this list, just like other hosts will have fun with this list. But I'm sorry to break the news to you. There's not going to be any accountability. If we really wanted to put a dent in human sex trafficking, we'd seal the southern border. We'd seal the northern border. And the GOP can do all the photo ops and the press conferences they want at the southern border. But until they're willing to shut down the government and force Joe Biden and the Democrats' hands, force them to close the southern border, their trips to the border are simply a waste of your time. And it's nothing but show. And quite frankly, I am completely done with the show. I want the freaking borders sealed. And I'm telling you, there are dots that I'm going to connect in this podcast between the elites that were traveling the globe with Jeffrey Epstein and what we're witnessing on the southern border. It's all connected. They're trying to overwhelm the system. I talked about this the other day. It's the Cloward-Piven strategy. Hey, listen, all of you blacks, I got some video that we're going to run for you. All of you blacks that vote Democrat and you think the Democrats love you and the Republicans are racist and all this kind of stuff. Well, you're going to be replaced by all of the illegal aliens that are coming into the border. You know why? Because all you do is stay angry and mad because you want to believe that America is systemically racist while the Democrats are bringing in your replacements. You know why? Because you've also bought in to the left theory that being pro-choice is absolutely amazing. LGBTQ, we should be for absolutely everything in the black community. So anyone that's discriminated against, we need to be for, as if there's some type of moral equivalence. So you're going to be replaced, all right? Because we're having abortions percentage-wise or per capita more than any other race in the United States of America. All of you white liberals, especially you white liberal women that are so pro-choice and, you're so pro-abortion, when your vagina is full of cobwebs, guess what? Because you don't have a husband or anything, you're going to be replaced. This is the big lie of the freaking left. They don't care for you. You black people, white liberals, they do not care for you. They are literally replacing you. They need a permanent underclass. You know why? Because they're global elites. And the global elites get away with this kind of crap because we've allowed them to do it. That's why there isn't going to be jack crap that happens to any of these people that are listed on Jeffrey Epstein's list. But I'll have fun with it, just like the rest of you. Oh, and some of you evangelicals and churchgoers, Catholics, and Jews, all of you that, you want to be so kind and compassionate to the asylum seekers, illegal aliens, that are coming across our border because that's the godly thing to do. That's the right thing to do. We feel so bad. We've been given all of this wealth and this privilege inside of the United States. Have you ever stopped to think that maybe God blessed the United States so that you could bless other people? Well, here's the good news. You won't have to travel to the mission field to see poverty and destruction and crime like you've never seen it before because it's coming to us, you freaking idiots. Oh my God. Woo! You're going to learn to appreciate this country and culture, but unfortunately, I think it's going to be too late. All of that to say hello and welcome to the Carl Jackson Show podcast. This is your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. The Epstein list, southern borders, what do they have in common? You just heard my rant. I'm going to try to tie all of this stuff together or bring it all together. I had a whole nother show ready for you today. That's why Gabe is a little perturbed with me because I could have already had it knocked out, to be honest with you. But I felt compelled to talk about this issue, and I kind of wanted to move on because I was like, you know what? I gave you some names the other day, and listen, let me offer this caveat. Not everyone that chilled with Jeffrey Epstein, excuse me, are perverts. All right, not everyone knew what he was up to. I believe a lot of people did. but not necessarily everyone. It doesn't mean that they participated in any crimes with Jeffrey Epstein, but you do have to question everyone's judgment who, after they found out or after this guy was convicted of being a pedophile, you do have to question everyone that flew with Jeffrey Epstein and associated with Jeffrey Epstein. I saw interviews last night with Alan Dershowitz on Sean Hannity's program. He seemed to explain himself pretty clearly. Listen, he was Jeffrey Epstein's attorney, so on, etc. You can go and find the interview. There's going to be people like that whose names are on the list who may actually not be guilty. Apparently, the lady that accused him said, you know what, I may have gotten him wrong when he started when he started coming out and saying, whoa, I was his attorney. Yes, I traveled with Epstein. Yes, I was here. Yes, I was there. I never participated in anything like that, so on, etc. And he claimed, listen, as a defense attorney, I've defended the worst of the worst. So you can choose to believe him or not. But I do believe there's going to be a lot of people like that. Michael Jackson apparently flew and perhaps even visited Epstein Island. Apparently there are reports that there were, not just young girls, but younger boys that sometimes would be on the island. Now, all of this stuff listen, right now, this is speculation, right? But obviously we know the rumors of Michael Jackson. I don't know that anything had been proven yet, but we did see interviews where you're like, whoa, he's got to be, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But I started thinking about this stuff, just really thinking about this stuff. And I was thinking about the southern borders. I was so frustrated with the southern borders. I saw Representative Chip Roy started tweeting out yesterday, it's time for a shutdown. Matt Gaetz started doing the same. But Matt Gaetz gets a lot more attention because he's a bigger name in Congress, so whatever reason. But I saw Chip Roy leading the charge. Basically, it is time to shut down this government. But guys, what we're witnessing on the border, I hate to say this, I don't believe anything is going to happen. I hope that I'm wrong. I don't believe I don't believe that anything is going to happen with this illegal immigration unless we make it happen. I don't even believe that Republicans, whether it's Trump, whether it's DeSantis, will have the capacity to return all of these people. I don't. It's not because I'm trying to be a negative Nelly. It's because I'm trying to be real with you. You've got over 8 million people that have broke into our country, all right, that have court dates set. How many of those people you think are gonna are gonna come to their court dates? How much money and resources will have to be supplied in order to go and get those people? There's going to be court hearings after court hearings after court hearings. The truth of the matter is we are watching the Cloward-Piven strategy, which I'll go over again really quickly. At our southern border, it is being imposed on us by these elitists, and it is working. And we should shut down the border. We should build a wall. We should deport as many people as possible. That is a given. But I'm going to brace you for something right now. I hope that I'm wrong. The rhinos are going to rise up, and I guarantee you there's going to be an offer for amnesty within a couple of years. Because they're not going to have the courage to deal with this. Or they're going to say, listen, all right. We'll cry uncle. Let's just seal the border. No more. They've done it before. They even did it with Trump in office. His first couple of years, he wasn't that great on the border. His second couple of years, he was really good on the border. But at one time, there was an amnesty deal that even Trump was like, okay, we'll cut it off here. And then you rose up and said, no, you guys don't even remember that, do you? Don't even remember that. Never underestimate the rhino's ability. Never underestimate the rhino's ability to open up our southern borders. They can't help themselves. So I sit and I look at this, and I'm like, man, you know what? You really wanted to stop human trafficking, or at least put a dent in human trafficking? Stop this. Unless Republicans shut down the government. Listen, guys, I don't think I'm one of these crazy far out people where the answer is shut down the government every time. I don't think we have a choice. Why are we waiting until November, hoping and praying that Trump or a Republican gets in and they'll end this? Why? By then, it will be too late. I'm sorry. I know I'm bringing the heat today. Probably not exactly what you expected. I could kiss you behind. I could make you feel happy, or I could tell you the truth so that you can call your congressman, your senator, your local elected officials and say, not in my backyard, or I will do everything I can to get your butt out of office. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. Man. All right, let me bring you some quick news, and then I want to show you some videos real quick. All right, so I didn't talk about this yesterday, but you had explosions that killed over 100 people. I think it was 103 that were gathered at the Iran commander Qasem Soleimani's tomb. Remember, that was the dude that Trump blew up, and I feel no remorse. Good job, Trump. 2 explosions near Iranian military commander Qasem Soleimani's tomb killed at least 103 people who gathered there Wednesday on the anniversary of his 2020 death. According to Iranian state media, in addition to the 103 deaths, 141 people were injured. According to the Islamic Republic news agency, the first explosion occurred, this is according to Just the News, occurred less than a half mile from his tomb as people walked toward the area to commemorate his death, while the second explosion occurred about 6 miles away. According to the state-run outlet, an official from Iran's Kerman province, where the explosions occurred, said the blasts were the result of terrorism. All right, so anyway, over 103 people killed, 141 people injured as they gathered or walked towards Qasem Soleimani's tomb in order to commemorate his death in 2020. All right, so was that 2020? Yeah, to commemorate the anniversary of his death in 2020. So let me just respond to this real quick. Yeah, I don't care. I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound mean. I don't care. What do you call 103 people dead that we're going to commemorate the death of a murderer, of a killer, a man that killed American soldiers, a man that killed Muslims, a man that carried out some of the most violent stuff ever. You call that a good start? You call that a good start? I don't give a. Kill more. Carl, how could you say that? You're a Christian. I'm sorry. There's a such thing as evil. All right. And some of these people are never going to repent. They're never going to turn to God. They're never going to adopt Western culture or Western civilization or the Bible, for that matter. So adios. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord splits you. Hope you repent just before you see the missile coming right at your head. All right. So that's where I stand on that. Okay. Now also, just real quick, the judge unseals about 170 names with Jeffrey Epstein's list. So let me talk about this real quick, and actually let's do this. Let's go through the videos of the border, because I've made my argument. What is Epstein's client list or Epstein's list? They're not all clients per se. Some of them were rich acolytes, elites that hung around with Jeffrey Epstein. That industry, that world, all about networking. We've all known. Let's not pretend like we're shocked. Obviously, there will be some names that will appear on this list where you say, what's going on? I saw Chris Tucker on there. You're like, what's going on? I mean, he could have been traveling. Who knows? He could have been traveling from Florida to New York. I don't know, and caught a ride. I don't know. I do think that everybody that flew with this guy, particularly after he was convicted of being a pedophile, they need to answer questions. Not everybody. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like everybody's going to be evil, but everybody needs to answer questions. All right. But there's no doubt that Jeffrey Epstein was, and Ghislaine Maxwell as well, participated in this sex trafficking and human trafficking. This is a video that I want you to watch. This is Myra Flores. She's running for what congressional district in Texas? I think it's, I'm not sure. Maybe Texas District 4, I believe. But anyway, the largest migrant caravan, illegal immigrant caravan of 2023, known as the Poverty Exodus, has recently departed from southern Mexico. She writes on X, comprising approximately 15,000 individuals from 24 countries en route to the U.S. border. Yet Democrats are focused on cooking pictures I posted that reminded me of my, I don't know what she says, that reminded me of my upbringings. I can't with so much pettiness, she says. At Texas Tribune, you should write about this caravan on its way. That would be more productive. And indeed, Myra Flores, I need to donate to her. I said that before. She would be absolutely correct. She was phenomenal. She was in for just a short stint, but she was phenomenal. So hopefully she can win that seat and come back. Let's go ahead and roll this video, por favor, Gabe. This is a caravan of, right now, I guess they're migrants. I guess that they are technically migrants when they're not entering the U.S. border, but I think they're illegal migrants, because if they're in Mexico, then they've probably already entered that country illegally, but Mexico is smart enough not to allow them to stay. They'll just let them take the shortcut, if you will, and travel through Mexico to get to the United States, because they're not as dumb as we are. But anyway, let's go ahead and roll that video, por favor, Gabe. Look at that. It's a party. It's a party. It's a poverty party coming at you. All right. So here it comes. And again, I'll just briefly go over the Cloward Piven strategy. I'll tell you exactly what's happening. None of this stuff is isn't by accident. We already know that. Alejandro Mayorkas, I should have had that video ready, was on I think it was on CNN, basically blaming Republicans, blaming Trump for the border crisis. And then he learns that there's an impeachment brewing to kick him out as the Department of Homeland Security. And I know a lot of people say, listen, Carl, if they kick him out as the Department of Homeland Security, there's just going to be another left-winger that comes in and does the same job that he's doing. So what? Kick him out anyway. Kick him out anyway. Let him be fired in disgrace. Let him be removed in complete and utter disgrace. And as far as confirmation is concerned, you know, Republicans, you guys can give them a hard time confirming another DHS head. And by the way, I think the Department of Homeland Security needs to be eliminated anyway. So I'm just so sick of this. How could you sit here and watch your country being destroyed and not do anything about it? You're so worried and so afraid of what the left has to say that you're not willing to do anything about it. Here's Speaker Mike Johnson and his cohort of Republicans that joined him on the southern border to see what was happening on the southern border for themselves. Now, I will say this, kudos to them, and I give them credit. Joe Biden hasn't done this. Kamala Harris hasn't done this, but this isn't enough anymore. You've got 8 million freaking people, 300,000, I believe it was, or over, in just the last month alone that invaded the United States of America. You have to shut down the government. Here's Speaker Mike Johnson, literally, as they're giving a press conference, and illegals are invading the country, and there's nothing being done about it. Roll the video, por favor, Gabe. You know what this stuff is meant to do. In essence, and part of my frustration, and honestly, I'm a little torn. I'm being honest with you. I'm a little torn because I believe that everyone on Epstein's list, whether that's his flight list, particularly after he was convicted of being a pedophile, whether it's his flight list, whether they were at his Palm Beach home, New York mansion, his New Mexico mansion, wherever the guy was. If you had contact with him after that, you need to do some splaining. All right, I'm not Ricky Ricardo, but you need to do some splaining. All right. That's the way that I feel, and I do feel like these people, this should be brought into the light. This stuff should be brought into the light. But I also want you to understand that nothing's gonna happen. I'm sorry. Okay, we got the names. What now? What's going to happen? And honestly, I think this goes in tandem with the open borders. They want you to feel like you're powerless. The left, the globalists, they want you to feel like you have no control. You know why? Because they're too powerful. They have too much money. They run the system. Who the hell do you think is controlling Joe Biden in the White House? Even Obama. I know Obama, and I've said it myself. This is Obama's third term. But who do you think are the people that empowered Obama? World Economic Forum, all these people. You know, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. We all see this stuff that's happening. We all see what they're doing. The guy Seamus Bruner, he's a researcher for Peter Schweitzer, has written a book called Control Oligarchs. Go out and check it out. These people are plotting against us. They don't believe in borders. They don't believe in borders. They want to control all of us. They don't give a flip about national sovereignty. All of the people involved with Jeffrey Epstein are on his clients list. You think they live by the same rules that we do in society? You think they abide by the Constitution? You don't think they get special treatment or favors in front of a judge if they ever appear in front of one, if they break a crime? That's why it was such an anomaly to get Jeffrey Epstein behind bars, and in my opinion, why they had to go ahead and kill that fool. Here's Representative Chip Roy. Here's what he had to say about the Republican visit at Eagle Pass. Let's go ahead and roll that video, por favor, Gabe.
It'll be great for them to hear from the ranchers, from the sheriffs, from the local law enforcement, from the Border Patrol that I talk to on a daily and weekly basis. It'd be great for them to learn. But I'm not going to go down and stare at these people that I've been talking to for now four and a half years as a member of Congress, almost 5 years, and not deliver. And at this point right now, Republicans have an obligation to deliver. We delivered last spring when we came together and we passed H.R. 2, which most people who are objective about it would tell you would actually solve the problem and actually do what needs to be done to honor our laws and secure the border. But now we need to deliver. And I got to be honest, I was on a phone call this morning with sheriffs and Border Patrol Coalition folks and ranchers this morning. And they said to me, Congressman Roy, we've got to shut down the border, or yes, you should shut down the government. That's the way people feel about it. They're past being able to accept what's happening to our country.
Thank you. It's time to act. You can go to the border all you want. Okay, we've seen it. We've got conservative outlets now, independent journalists. We've seen it. I had Julio Rosas on here. I had Anna Gioritelli on here. We've seen it. I mean, it's time to act. Why are we waiting for November? This makes no sense to me. Republicans, I saw a headline today. Republicans think they can win on the issue of the border. Win on the issue of the border? Damn it, save the country now. I don't give a flip about your election. God, man, these people drive me nuts. And I know it's driving you nuts too. I'm just being real with you. I feel so. I'm part of my frustration, and and at least I get to vent. But even I sit here at times, and I'm like, what do I do? Whatever you can do, it just feels so overwhelming. But there are things you can do. You can get involved locally. We can take the Senate back. We can't just focus on the presidency. We got to take the Senate back. We need some stronger senators. We need some more, stronger House Republicans. But then we need you, the American people, to come up and if people do you wrong, you got to be willing to say something, even if it's people that you like. You got to be willing to say, you didn't do this for me. You didn't do this to protect the border. You didn't stop the spending. You got to be able to say it, willing to say it to your own people. This isn't the time to be cowards. This isn't the time to kiss Republican booty. This is the time to hold people accountable. Because you know what? You know whose livelihood, whose lives are going to be destroyed? It's not the people in Washington, D.C. They're going to get pensions for the rest of their freaking lives. It's you and it's me. The Cloward-Piven strategy to collapse America. Healthcare, all right, control healthcare and you control the people. I'm just going to mention these real quick, but then I want to focus in on a couple real quick. Poverty, increase the poverty level as high as possible. Poor people are easier to control and will not fight back if you're providing everything for them to live. All right. So I've talked about this before. Debt. Increase the debt to an unsustainable level. That way you are able to increase taxes and this will produce more poverty. Gun control. Remove the ability to defend themselves from the government. That way you are able to create a police state. Number 5, welfare. Take control of every aspect of their lives. That includes food, housing, and income. All right. There's 8 steps, by the way. Number 6, take control. Education, take control of what people read and listen to. Take control of what children learn in school. Number 7, religion. Remove the belief in God from the government and schools. And honestly, you're starting to remove the belief of God from churches. Churches can't even talk about sin anymore. Not saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I'm a Christian. Yes, I'll talk about sin. But you know what? I'm a pretty screwed up individual. But the truth of the matter is, I know there's a God that's greater than me. I know there's a God that I can repent to and change, that offers me forgiveness, and I can change. Class warfare. Divide the people into the wealthy and the poor. This will cause more discontent, and it will be easier to tax the wealthy with the support of the poor. All right, so class warfare, that's flipped. Now we've got identity politics. Now you've got race warfare. You've got cultural Marxism. That's worked better for the left when the class warfare thing wasn't working out for them so well. So now they're using race, and they use all these different blocks. You got to have liberal women. You got to have gays. You got to have blacks. You got to have Latinos. You got to have the trans community, and then you keep everybody mad, and then you focus all of those groups on this bully, right? And it's typically the Republican Party. And then you have all those groups that coalesce around you because you're championing their causes. And that's what the left does. All right, but some that I want to stick to when it comes to the border. Increase the poverty level as high as possible. Poor people are easier to control and will not fight back if you're providing everything for them to live. You know, these people are coming. They're coming here to seek a better life. This isn't even about escaping persecution or religious persecution, political means, and or for political reasons from their country. This is, no, I want to come to the United States because I was told I can get a better life here. I'm sorry, that's not a reason to offer asylum to anyone. These are not refugees. They simply are not. I'm sure some are, a very few, but the vast majority are not. But what do? You bring all of these people in, you put them on food stamps, you keep them poor, and then what do? Republicans try to take away their meal ticket. They just vote against Republicans and they vote for Democrat. You disperse them all across the country, not just in blue cities, so those remain blue, all right, but you also disperse them in red states where there are blue cities, so those states start to turn purple and then blue. You see what's happening here? Not only that, you destroy the culture. All you white liberals, all you black liberals, all you church-going liberals, all you're doing is destroying the United States of America while pretending to be good, while pretending to be virtuous, while these fools get to tear down the country, and you get to play a role in that. That's what you do. Control healthcare, you control the people. You heard California is putting all these illegal aliens, going to pay for it. Free healthcare. It's not free. You're going to pay for it. But California politicians are going to get to say that it's free. And as they keep adding illegal immigrants to their voter rolls, then there's nothing you're going to be able to do to stop it. Increase the debt to an unsustainable level. That way you're able to increase taxes, and this will produce more poverty. So you're going to be able to tax the middle class. The wealthy aren't going to be hurt. The elites, the people traveling that travel with Jeffrey Epstein or that visited his island, except for the victims, obviously, they're gonna, they're gonna be okay. They're gonna be okay. You're not, but they're gonna be okay. Just so that you understand. All right, let me close up with this. Let me just add, these are some of the names that were on the list. I wanted to go over some of the things that Chip Roy said, but he did enough. It's just time for action. It's as simple as that. He did say this. Let me share this. I am obliged to inform you of my duty. This is Representative Chip Roy, to refuse to fund or otherwise empower the United States government or any foreign government it is supporting unless and until it fulfills its constitutional obligation to defend our borders from invasion as required in our republic, a Republican form of government, and make the people of Texas whole for its breach of duty. He also said we must make funding for federal government operations contingent on the president signing HR2 or its functional equivalent into law and stopping the flow across our border with demonstrable net zero results. Roy suggested approving funding in some key areas, such as Border Patrol agents, and starving much of the money-hungry federal Leviathan in a leverage play to force action on the border issue. Now is the time. To be certain, use of our constitutional authority to withhold funds to force adherence to the law comes with cries of government shutdown and concerns we will fail to sustain key priorities such as funding for troops and Border Patrol agents themselves. In other words, Republicans are so scared to say that they shut down the government, they're willing to allow the country to collapse. He's saying now you can't be scared of that anymore. It's time to act. These claims can be dismissed, he says. He's given them a way out. Dismissed if we pass legislation to fund those very basic responsibilities, securing the borders, in other words, including ensuring Border Patrol agents receive full salary, benefits, and overtime pay while withholding funding for the vast majority of the federal government until it performs its basic duty to defend the borders of a supposedly sovereign nation. And by the way, a government shutdown is not a government shutdown. All of the essentials continue to run under the government. You'll still get your welfare checks. The military will be okay. All of the essential parts of the government will continue to function. All right. So just so you're aware of that, that's exactly what's going on. Last little bit, let me just bring you some of the latest names. This was on the Daily Mail. And I brought you a list of names the other day. But those are more likely people that were just on the flight list. Again, it's pure speculation. We don't know who the guilty players are, but listen, you're traveling with Epstein. There's going to be some guilty players. So just real quick, hat tip, Daily Mail. The A-list stars, politicians, and leading figures named in Jeffrey Epstein files. You have Prince Andrew. You have Bill Clinton, who was named more than 50 times. Apparently, one of the victims was told by Jeffrey Epstein that Clinton likes the girls young. Now, I don't know if young means 12, 13, 14 years of age, 18, 19, 20. I don't know. All right, so this is stuff that we've yet to find out. Clinton, is denying this stuff and saying, listen, I haven't even hung out with the guy for 20 years or hadn't hung out for 20 years. Yeah, that doesn't mean you didn't do anything in the years that you did. So this identifies dozens of well-known figures. You have Leonardo DiCaprio, Naomi Campbell, Bill Clinton, obviously, Prince Andrew, Kevin Spacey, Stephen Hawking were all included in the filings. Donald Trump, I played you a video the other day, basically the attorney that was involved in subpoenaing some of these people, and he said Donald Trump was the only one to actually call him and offer information, so he was pretty much in the clear. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Kate Blanchett, Cameron Diaz, Bruce Willis are in there. Again, none of them have been accused of any crimes, so I want to make that sure. But I do believe that all of them that can, Bruce Willis is obviously suffering from a severe case of dementia at this point. But anyone that can answer questions should. You have David Copperfield, the magician that apparently was with good friends with Jeffrey Epstein, even going so far as to tell a girl, hey, did you know that he pays for young girls to bring girls in or something to that effect. Anyway, it gets insane. But the bottom line is, I say all that to say this. Who's going to hold these people accountable? The truth of the matter is, we're living in the United States of America, and dare I say, we're living in a global community, all right, where the elites are running the show. And the only ones that can stop them is the United States of America. And they know that. They know that. So we've got to make the United States of America strong again. And we've got to demand policies that make America strong again. And this is, for one, shutting down the freaking border, even if it means a government shutdown. Guys, we have no country if our borders aren't sealed. I forgot to tell you that today's show is brought to you by MyPillow.com. You go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square, and enter my name, Carl, C-A-R-L. There are Giza Dream Sheets that are available for you for as low as $29.98. You'll receive a set there. All of these products on MyPillow.com come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. Or if you prefer, you can call them at 800-858-0263, 800-858-0263. Get the MyPillow 2.0. I love it. Honestly, guys, I'm not lying to you, not blowing smoke up your butt. Absolutely love the towels. Absolutely love the pillows. Got slippers. I got some MyPillow stuff. MyPillow dog beds. My dogs love them. Anyway, good stuff there, and you're supporting American jobs and American manufacturing, which we need more of. All right, which we need more of, certainly. Guys, listen, I appreciate you tuning in to this edition of the Carl Jackson Show podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast. Follow. You can review. All right. Give us a 5. That'll help more people get to know us or see us, or we'll be exposed to more people if you do just that. I'm on all things social media at the Carl Jackson Show. We're on Instagram. We got Instagram up and going again. Thank you, Gabe. X. Yeah, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I mess around with X and Facebook. I don't know what to do on Instagram. Every once in a while, I just learned how to post a picture. All right, I suck at that stuff, but we're working on that. All right. So anyway, so please follow us there. You'll see more action there. Of course, YouTube and Rumble as well. Appreciate you tuning in. Until next time, do not grow weary doing good. I say that all the time. Guys, we're doing good. Fighting for America. Fighting for the restoration of America. We're doing good. We're doing good. This is a good fight. This is a righteous fight. Until next time, don't grow weary doing good. God bless you.